everyone, welcome back to My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet the daughter.
And I'm Kevin the dad. Heard you missed us. We're back.
Yeah, thanks for being patient with us these past couple of weeks, but we are back for the summer.
One of us had to finish their semester of college.
Yeah, I had exams, but I'm alive, I made it, and we're back to recording. All right, Dad, you want to tell everyone what we're covering today?
Today we are covering the Police's third album, Zenyatta Mondatta. And I'll do the usual Reader's Digest origin of the band.
Take it away.
Thank you. Stuart Copeland was in a prog rock band called Curved Air. While on tour in England in November '76, he met one bassist singer, Gordon Sumner, a.k.a. Sting, because of his habit of wearing a black and yellow striped sweater.
Oh, I didn't know he was a bassist.
Sting was in a jazz rock fusion band called Last Exit.
Of course he was.
And could there be anything worse than a jazz rock fusion band? Yes, two of them.
Wait, what?
Two jazz rock fusion bands are always worse than one.
Okay.
And as an aside, I was watching the Civil War documentary recently, and they were showing a map of one of the battles, and the general on the Confederate side, last name was Gordon, and on the northern side, Sumner. And they were both at the Battle of Seven Pines and Antietam. Okay, that's it for my aside. Okay, so Curved Air split up, and Copeland wanted to form a new band inspired by the London punk scene. Cool. Sting wasn't crazy about that, but hey,
of course.
Commercial opportunities.
Oh, is that why?
They got guitarist Henry Padovani and called themselves the Police. At the same time, Sting was invited to join the band Strontium-90, which is a radioactive isotope. The drummer wasn't available, so Copeland came along. Andy Summers was Strontium's guitarist. He was 10 years older than Sting and Stewart, and he'd been around a bit.
So he's like the dad of the group?
Kind of, yeah. He impressed Sting, who was less so with Padovani's guitar playing. Summers was asked to join the Police. He wanted it to be a trio, but Sting and Copeland were still loyal to Padovani. So they were a quartet, but not for long.
What happened?
Again, Summers made his demand, and this time Padovani was gone until 2007, when he played 2 shows in Paris with the rest of the band on their 30th anniversary reunion tour. They started playing gigs, but were criticized by punks for not really being punk.
They're not punk at all.
Well, they were too polished, too professional, and, their backgrounds, being in jazz rock fusion and prog rock, and they thought, they're just jumping on the bandwagon. Plus, the other thing they didn't like was that they were a trio instead of a quartet, because all punk bands had 4 people in them.
I mean, nothing wrong with a trio if you can still sound great.
Stuart Copeland's older brother, Miles, financed their first album, and he also ended up managing the band.
Oh, cool.
But he wasn't too keen about it until he heard Roxanne. He got him a deal with A&M Records, and then they put it out as a single, but it did not make the BBC's playlist.
Oh, that's
so, well, it wasn't like banned, but A&M promoted the song as being banned by the Beeb because the song was about prostitution. So that helped the single sell, even though the BBC never really banned the song. It just didn't make their playlist.
Okay.
Their second single, Can't Stand Losing You, really was banned by the BBC.
Why?
Due to the 45's cover of showing Stuart Copeland hanging himself over a block of ice being melted by a portable radiator.
That's a pretty powerful image.
Yeah, it is. And you figure you have to be real patient because a portable radiator is going to take a long time to melt a block of ice so you can go, ugh.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Orlando's D'Amore came out first, then Regatta de Blanc, then Zenyatta Mondatta, then Ghost the Machine, and Synchronicity, and with each release they got bigger and bigger, and by the time of Synchronicity, they were the biggest band in the world.
Now as they got bigger and bigger, did they hate each other more and more?
Well, by the time they recorded Synchronicity, they recorded their parts in separate rooms.
Ooh, ouch!
Because things were that tense. So, like I said, they were the biggest band in the world. They went on tour, Synchronicity tour, obviously. And then they went on a hiatus after that and did solo stuff, in which Sting eventually became Britain's version of James Taylor.
That's a fair comparison, I think. You can fight us all you want, but we will stand by it.
It's true, and you know it.
Yeah.
In June of '86, they were going to start a 6th album, but Stewart broke his collarbone falling off a horse.
Oh my God, ow! He didn't get
Well,
Christopher
he
Reeve,
recovered.
Though. Yeah.
No.
Not like what happened to Christopher Reeve.
And Andy Summers took that as a sign that was the end of the band. But he also knew that Sting wasn't going to write new songs for them, and that was that.
He was all mellowed out now. He was too cool for rock.
Yeah, but before all that, they did manage to make a crappy remake of "Don't Stand So Close to Me" for a best of.
I've never heard that.
Oh, you are so lucky.
What's it sound like?
It's crap.
Okay.
It's slow. It's draggy. It's crap.
Okay.
They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003, their first year of eligibility. They did their 30th anniversary tour in 2007, 2008, which was Sting's idea because he said, well, I did that Loot album, and then I figured, well, what else can I do that's unpredictable? I know, I'll call the guys. Hey, guys. And then he also made sure of saying when they announced the tour that once the tour was over...
They're never doing it again.
They're never doing it again, and they have not.
Well, at least they kept their word.
Okay, now for the album. Mm-hmm. They recorded it in 4 weeks. The title really doesn't mean anything. They say it's a portmanteau.
Oh!
Which is a classy word for mashup of the words Zen, Jomo Kenyatta, who was the first president of Kenya, Monde, for the French word for world, and Regatta from their previous album, Regatta de Blanc.
So they just decided to make a couple words mixed together, so it sounded good.
They also said they wanted something that would just roll off the tongue, and they felt that.
Zenyatta Mondatta.
See, there you go. Okay, and this album also won a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental for Behind My Camel.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
I got thoughts. Okay, keep going.
And the big hits off this album are Don't Stand So Close to Me and the Do Do Do, the Da Da Da, which was Frank Sinatra's favorite Police song, if he ever had one. Don't know if he ever did or not.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, like, Frank. Doobie doobie doo, doo doo doo, doo.
Wait, is that a joke you made up yourself, or is that
Yeah, it's a lame joke that I made up myself.
Oh, okay.
It's a dad joke.
Appreciate it, people. Okay, Dad, you said you wanted to talk about the cover before we get into anything.
Yes, let's take a look at this cover, which the folks at home cannot see, but I'm sure they can look at it online.
It's worth a Google.
Okay, you notice that...
they're in a triangle, which has 3 sides and 3 members.
Stuart and Andy are, what do you figure, almost 3/4 facing the camera?
Yeah, and Sting's at the...
Sting's in profile at the bottom, looking up like the regal rock god that he is, saying, yes, admire my perfect bone structure, especially around the cheek area.
No thanks, Freddie Mercury's got better bone structure than you, pal.
I am a god.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're not exactly fans of Sting's post-police career. I like more songs than my dad does, but even then, it's only like 5 songs that I like. And also, I don't know how many other people know this, but Sting's album, The Last Ship, he was on the Broadway scene a while ago when that was made into a musical. And I remember when he got the Kennedy Center honor, they brought the cast of The Last Ship on stage to sing Message in a Bottle. And the musical got, like, okay reviews. It's actually pretty good for a stage production, and he joined the cast for a little bit, but that was mainly to kind of give the show more money before it closed indefinitely. So, yeah. Dad, what's your thought on Sting's post-police career? We may lose viewers for this, but...
Well, it reminds me of this op-ed piece that he allegedly wrote for The Onion, which, of course, he didn't, but it was called I Used to Be Cool Once, and it talks about him, having to go to the local convenience store to pick up some milk and a few other things, and as he's in the store, he hears this song. He's thinking, boy, this song sounds really familiar, and... It was a Police song. I can't remember the exact one. I want to say it might have been Roxanne or whatever. And he stands there thinking, wow, yeah, I used to be in that band. I was actually cool once. Oh, well.
Yeah. I mean, he did, like, great things advocating for, like, the rainforest and preservation of the rainforest, so that was nice.
Oh, good for him. Yes, and he also was on the charity song, Sending Our Love Down the Well, on the episode of The Simpsons when Bart fell into the well.
Yes, I remember that! Oh my god, and they were digging him out! That's a good episode of Simpsons, by the way. Do you want to talk about the back, or not really?
No, nothing. It's just a mishmash of
them in the studio,
them in concert,
outside,
Andy with an umbrella, Sting with his bass, Brian. Yeah, he named his bass.
Well, a lot of people name their instruments like people name their cars.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go with that.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do this.
All right, first song, Don't Stand So Close to Me. So the first few times I heard this song when I was younger, the intro with the hum, it always made me think this song was going to be about outer space or sci-fi, but it's definitely not about either of those subjects. And I'm still not sure why they start with that sound, since it has nothing to do with the subject matter. It just kind of stays there for the rest of the song.
Because it sounds cool. It's a cool way to open up an album.
It is. And also, when you get older, the Nabokov reference isn't something you understand until you're an adult either, but it enhances the theme of the song. I like it. It conveys the temptation of forbidden fruit really well, and how both the teacher and the student are just like all bottled up with passion. They're like a Coke bottle ready to explode, but they kind of have to hold back so their secret doesn't get out because, this is illegal. It reminds me of this crappy book I read when I was a kid. It was called Teach Me, and it was about a student and a teacher that fall in love and have a relationship, but then the teacher leaves the student and she crashes his wedding and either tries to kill him or his wife. I don't really remember. But this song, when I listened to it, because I remember hearing that Sting used to be a school teacher, so it makes you wonder if Sting experienced anything like this when he was teaching. And that's where he kind of got the idea to write the song.
If he did, he would have gotten stung. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, to me, Don't Stand So Close to Me shows that Sting was paying attention in lit class because of the Nabokov reference.
Yeah.
But in the crappy 86 remake, he overdoes it by adding the word famous to the line, just like the old man in that book by Nabokov. To me, it just sounds a little pretentious. But good song, catchy, nice opener.
That's all you can really ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, also, this song reminds me of your mom saying how when she went to high school, 2 of her teachers in school married their students.
Yeah.
And I guess one of those couples is actually still married to this day.
Yeah, one of them. She said that her teacher, when he first came in, he just graduated teaching school. So I guess he was, in his mid to lower 20s or something like that. So the age gap wasn't that big, but I said to Mom, that's still, they're older now, so they're more responsible, but it's kind of weird when you think about, when they were teacher and student.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Driven to Tears. I love those opening drums. They really sound great. Yep. The best part about this song is easily the instruments. They all shine and, they make you bob your head and tap your feet. The lyrics aren't really memorable for me except for the chorus. And to me, this song foreshadowed the type of songs that Sting would write when the police
yes.
up. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the song.
This is mellow.
This is the song also in which he gets a conscience.
Oh, and he starts, reflecting and thinking and going inward and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Too many cameras and not enough food.
Yeah, so...
This is where he starts getting Whole Foods granola-y.
Dad's...
I stand by those words.
Okay. Oh, I hope we don't get in trouble. So the one thing about this song is I don't get what's making him sad. Did a girl cheat on him? Has he had enough of fame? Does he not like the world he lives in? Is it all too much? What's going on?
No, it's not a relationship song.
What's it about?
It's
about fame?
No, it's about wow, you really haven't listened to the words. It's
boring.
It's about, oh, there's all this misery and strife in the world, and what can we do to make it better? What can we do? All it does for me is, I am driven to tears. Driven to tears. Yo, oh.
And scene. It reminds me of that episode of Always Sunny when Charlie and Dee got into beat poetry.
Huh.
Just with those lyrics. Okay.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't pick up on it. The old too many cameras and not enough food.
Well, yeah, I kind of got that inkling, but he was trying to talk about so many things in 3 to 4 minutes that it kind of went a little all over the place for me.
Oh, okay.
All right. When the world is running down, you make the best of what's still around.
I think the title is longer than the song.
It's so long. Long title, but okay. The opening's fine. I don't think he's making the best of what's still around. He's just going through the motions of his run-of-the-mill life. I like the tempo and the sound of the instruments, and the way it ends with the beginning lyrics and fading out shows that this is just a cycle that's going on and on. It's okay, but I think I like it better than Driven to Tears.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an okay song, and I think he talks about, kind of like the old make the best with what you got kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he name checks the Tammy Show, so bonus points for that.
What's that?
It's TME is short for Teenage Music International. It was a concert that was held in, I want to say it was Santa Monica, California, in December of 1964. And it was supposed to be an annual thing, but they kind of mismanaged the funds with the money, and they just got all these artists and bands who were like big at the time. They got like Leslie Gore, Marvin Gaye, Chuck Berry. They also brought over Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Rolling Stones, and the big thing was James Brown, which Sting also name checks James Brown. And the big controversy of that concert was that
the Beatles didn't show up.
They weren't ever gonna show up to that. They were just too big.
Okay.
The big controversy was that the Rolling Stones closed instead of James Brown.
Oh, is that the one you have filmed on DVD?
Yeah.
That they went after him and they realized that was a big mistake?
Yeah. And I think even 50-something years late, 55 years later, Mick still hasn't gotten over that.
Yeah, he realizes that was a big mistake.
Yeah. So yeah, good song.
Oh, also, does he say something about IMC, MIC, something like that in this song? He mentions an acronym. That's not the one you just said.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I would have to print out the lyrics.
Never mind. We'll find out what that is later. All right. Canary in a Coal Mine. This is probably my favorite song on the whole album. Great title, first for the alliteration and for the juxtaposition of a cute little canary inside a dark coal mine. And now, this is my aside. After I was done listening to this album, I was listening to this podcast I listen to called Musicals with Cheese, where this guy Jess tries to get Andrew to like musical theater. And they were reviewing the musical Hadestown, which takes the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice and kind of puts it in 1930s sort of steampunk New Orleans. And they have this song called Hey Little Songbird, where Hades lures Eurydice to the underworld, and he says, "My minds need a canary." And the host of the podcast explained that canaries were used in coal mines to help detect gas leaks, because the canary would be singing, then all of a sudden it would fall down and die, and everyone knew that meant they had to get the hell out of there.
Tweet.
Yeah, pretty much. I love the chords of the opening guitar, and the piano is unexpected, but it's a nice touch, and the tempo is perfectly frantic. This is a person, or a girl, who is high-strung and fragile, and this is my favorite song. I downloaded it as soon as I was done listening to it. I'm like, oh wow, this is so good. Why can't they write more songs like this?
Because they broke up.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Well, why couldn't they write more
But yeah,
songs like this on the album?
it's definitely a catchy song. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I like it. It's one of my favorites. Not a big hit, but it probably should have been.
Yeah. Okay. Voices inside my head.
Voices in my head.
Voices in my head. What's the word they're yelling over and over?
Cha. That?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Sting's patented cha shout.
What's that?
Cha.
Oh, he does that all the time?
He does that in some songs,
Just for no reason?
Just because he can.
Okay. So, when you have a song that's only 2 verses, it's very difficult for it to be good.
2 verses or 2 lines?
2 lines. Pardon me, 2 lines.
Yeah, it's an almost instrumental.
Yeah, it could be a couplet if they made it rhyme, but not really. I didn't like this song. I kept waiting for something different to happen, but nothing ever did. Maybe it's supposed to reflect the singer's mental state and how he's stuck. It just goes nowhere.
But it does rhyme, though.
Oh, well.
Voices in my head, echo of things that you said. Head, said.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. I like it. It's got a good driving beat, and don't have to remember a lot of lyrics, and it could probably go on forever. That beat is just so catchy.
Well, there's a reason you say Stuart Copeland's one of your favorite drummers of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Bombs Away! So, this is the first song that, at least I noticed, that was written by drummer Stuart Copeland. And you can tell from the lyrics that, yeah, an American wrote this with, nods to the President of the United States. And in 1980, when this album came out, Reagan would have been just elected. So, the opening notes sound very futuristic, is something that I noticed, and I thought it's a great protest song about how the U.S. is doing when it engages. The country itself is doing fine, but it's also engaging in bloody military conflicts that tarnish our reputation internationally. But what is he referring to in this song? Is he referring to Vietnam just ended a few years ago? Is he just referring to all the wars we've been in over history? What's he protesting here?
I always kind of thought it was I was going to say South America, but they referenced Bombay, so maybe something was going on in India at the time that they were more aware of than we were.
The British were more aware of than we
Well,
were? Okay.
yeah.
Also, I find it interesting how the chorus stops, but it continues being played on the guitar, and you find yourself singing along. I thought, oh, that's a clever hook.
Now, to show you how brilliant I was when I was a kid, and this album came out in
1980, it said.
1980, 17 years old at the time, I had no idea what Guerrilla War was. When they make the reference Gorilla Girl,
Oh my
hot and
God.
sweet,
What'd you think it was?
ook ook.
Oh,
I'm thinking, wow, this is a really weird image. I mean, even as a kid, I heard of guerrilla warfare, and I thought, are these guys trying to fight like gorillas do? Did they study their tribal tactics or something? And then years later, I
learned what it was.
learned about the spelling and all that sort
Well, I
of thing.
think every kid thinks that at first when they first hear it. 'Cause,
Yeah, it sounds so cool, and then you find out what it really is, and it's such a letdown.
You wish that they actually trained like gorillas and had gorillas out there.
No,
I think
not
Pete
having
would
them, but
sue.
just not having gorillas, but just we're in the jungle observing the battle tactics of the gorilla. Let's watch.
There's actually a game like that on the Nintendo Switch that my friends and I play, where the goal of it is you're a gorilla trying to attract a mate. So what you do is you hold the Nintendo Switch on one hand, and it makes like the gorilla will call out like ooh 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 ooh, and you have to match it by beating your fists against your chest with the Nintendo Switch in the same pattern that she's singing the notes. So like, if she goes ooh ooh ooh, and then at the end you find out who won the female gorilla.
So it's kind of like a primitive dating game?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
kind of fun.
All right.
All right.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We got sidetracked. Let's get back on it. All right. Da 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 da. Love this song. Always have. Always will. Because sometimes you just can't find the right words to say, which is embarrassing when it happens, but it's totally normal. And I also like how this song points out that sometimes people speak a lot without really saying anything. And the song is also really good for talking to someone you don't like and you're thinking, I don't want to waste my time talking to you, so you want a word? Here it is. The best part is also the instrumental where it builds and builds with the drums before returning to the chorus, like the little break.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just a great song.
Oh, it is. I mean, you could not escape this song when it first came out.
I bet not.
And yeah, catches everything. And I read somewhere some rock critic thought this is the greatest song Sting will ever write, which he really didn't elaborate on that, and I don't know why, but whatever. And I always thought the line was their logic ties you up and wrecks you.
Nope,
And then
I knew what it was even when I was 8.
I know, I'm thinking rape, kind of strong there, Mr. Sting, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm like, couldn't you have put in another word or
I always
something?
thought it was Rex. I mean, it doesn't sort of rhyme with escape, but
I mean, if Kids Bop had been around back then, they would have put in Rex instead of rapes.
yeah, or their logic ties you up and does inappropriate things. The do, the da da. And this also cries out for a Shatner version. The do, the da da, Spock.
It's all I want to say to do.
Exactly.
my God.
So, Bill, if you're out there listening to this, which you probably are not,
No, but if you ever find this somehow,
please consider doing this.
yeah, it'll be one of your greats along with Rocket Man and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. You get the little trio there. All right, Behind My Camel. So it's an instrumental, and the beat's good. But other than that, what the hell is this? Is it supposed to mean anything? Is he just bullshitting us? It kind of sounded creepy at first, and then it got repetitive and boring. Was this to prove he could write an instrumental? I just need more information on this.
Well, Andy wrote it all by himself.
You can tell.
Okay, now, Sting hated it so much.
I hate it too.
He did not play on it.
Oh.
So Andy had to play the bass parts. And
Okay.
Sting also found the tapes of the song, and buried them. Which I guess it didn't say whether Andy found them or if he had to re-record everything. And Stewart hated it too, but he said he played drums on it because what was Andy going to do? Play the drums? Not bloody likely.
That's fair.
But their producer, Nigel Gray, thinks that the title means, what do you find behind a camel?
Shit.
A monumental pile
of shit.
Yes. And for me, the best part
Is when
is
it ends?
this song won a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental. So in your face, Sting, who doesn't play on it.
Can you imagine what his reaction was when he found out that this song won?
Well, at that point, he probably should have realized, yeah, these Grammys just really don't mean anything.
We could do a whole episode about Dad stating his opinions on the Grammys. Like,
Well, they really don't mean anything, so that's my opinion for now.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of noticing it with some of the acting awards, like the Tony Awards I still watch religiously, but some of the other acting awards kind of fall in that pattern too, and I'm not going to name them in case I get to that level of success someday.
Yeah, I mean, who even knew that Best Rock Instrumental was a category?
I mean, it makes sense.
It might have at one time, I guess. I mean, I don't know if people still do instrumentals. I don't even think people play rock anymore.
I mean, the only real rock band left is like Greta Van Fleet, where the guy sounds like Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah, you played that for me.
It's pretty scary. All right, Man in a Suitcase. I like the sounds of talking and airport noises at the beginning. It's different and it establishes a setting. The title and the thing, it actually reminds me a little bit of The Airport Giveth, The Airport Taketh Away, in the sense that, pattern of guy traveling around the world, all these different airports, meets these people.
And like, hey, baby, why don't you come to my, hotel room because I'm on the road all the time.
Yeah, this guy meets a woman on his travels and wonders if this is all he is, a guy who meets women and takes them to his hotel rooms. Yeah, it's okay.
And they were all named Roxanne.
And he's like, every breath you take, every move you make, I'm watching you.
And she's thinking, yeah, pal, $50, let's go. But yeah, I mean, it's a good song. It's catchy. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Yeah. That reminds me, I need to show you that Vine video of every breath you take, every move you make, where it's two geese. It's really funny.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Shadows in the Rain. So by the time I reached this song on the album, this is where I realized some of the titles of the songs, it sounds like it could be the name of a piece, like a piece of modern art that's hanging up at MoMA or at the Art Museum, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Frank dresses up as Ongo Gablogian, because, like, Shadows in the Rain, Man in a Suitcase, Behind My Camel, Bombs Away, Voices Inside My Head, Canary in a Coal Mine, Driven to Tears.
They're all modern art pieces?
Yeah, they sound like they could be. Anyway, I don't like the opening howling and the vocalises. They're off-putting and weird. The best lyric in this easily is, he says I suffer from delusion, but I'm so confident and sane. The contrast will get a chuckle out of you anyway.
Well, wait, I always thought it was, I'm so confident I'm sane.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said insane.
No, I said I'm sane.
Okay,
Space.
sorry.
It's okay.
Dad, hearing's
Not that bad, Dad.
What?
Don't start.
Nah.
At first I thought, the song was about, like, this guy's, like, he's partying too hard, but you can see that this is a guy who's suffering from some sort of mental illness. It's interesting subject matter to be sure, but it's not the best song about it at all. Once again, I think this is Sting trying to be profound and not succeeding. They also could have shaved off 2 minutes of this song because it just drags after a while.
Well, I like this version because when he went solo, he did, like, this jazzy version on his first album, The Dream of the Blue Turtles, which the title right there should have told you, I think we're all in trouble here.
What's it supposed to mean anyway?
What, The Dream of the Blue Turtles?
Yeah.
There's these blue turtles, and they had this dream, and it became an album.
The end.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always tried to figure out what does shadows in the rain actually mean. Just that phrase, like when it rains, is it because there's clouds and there's no shadows? There's got to be some sort of shadowing.
Maybe it's like his mental state is so altered that the way he perceives the world is different from everyone else's. Like he can see shadows of raindrops as they fall or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that. How can you explain shadows in the rain?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like that's just a sign that this guy's going off the rails here.
Crazy Sting.
Oh, Sting.
But I love this song. I love the beat. I love the slowness of it. I just love it.
Okay. The Other Way of Stopping. So this is the second instrumental, but this time by Stewart, and you can tell it's by him because the drums take center stage. This is definitely better than Behind My Camel. This probably should have won the Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental, but I think the Police should stick to writing songs with lyrics. That's just my opinion. Also, I gotta ask, was this written because Stewart wanted to show off his drumming, or was it because he was like, hey, Andy got an instrumental, I want one too?
Well, we could go with that latter theory, but he also wrote "Bombs Away," so he already got a song on there.
Yeah,
Yeah, the thing that got me was like second instrumental on this album, and I'm really surprised they'd have two on one album.
yeah. Why would they do two?
Because Sting ran out of words. He ran out of words. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with this instrumental. I kind of like it better than Behind My Camel, probably because of the drumming thing.
Behind My Camel.
Now, here's an interesting thing. We have a Bob Newhart connection here with this song.
Okay, I'm all for it.
Okay, the title comes from Bob Newhart's driving instructor routine.
Oh, cool.
The instructor asks the driving student, Mrs. Webb, what she and the other instructor covered. He says, "And the other way of stopping? What's the other way of stopping? Oh, throwing it in reverse. Oh, that would do it."
Yeah, it would.
So that's where that comes from. So Bob Newhart contributes to rock and roll.
Another reason why he's cool. Have you seen that episode of Mean Tweets where the one tweet they had Bob Newhart read was, how old is Bob Newhart now? 120?
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, but one last thing I will say about this song is I do like how it ends with the electric guitar. Very pretty. It's nice.
Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so overall thoughts. This album's okay. None of the music is bad. Like, none of it's, like, truly awful. Like, even Behind My Camel, it's not the worst song ever written. It just doesn't grab me with most of the songs, even though they have me tapping my feet or bobbing my head. Like, when you got a drummer like Stuart Copeland, it's like, you want to move around to the beat. The Police are never as hard rock as I expect them to be. Like, even when I listen to some of their albums, it's like, the sound is just so quiet. Like, you get what I mean? It's weirdly soft, and it doesn't ever get like too loud. It's never in your face. It always feels like they're holding back, or like somebody turned down the volume a little bit.
I've never thought of it that way. I mean, yeah, granted, it's not metal, and it's definitely not punk.
No.
But yeah, it catches anything, and the musicianship is incredible.
Oh yeah, they're all talented.
It really is.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add before I throw my 2 cents?
Well, when they write a catchy song, it's insanely good, though. Like, when they hit it out of the park, they hit it out of the park. I just wish that the quality of their songs on this album was more consistent.
Okay. I love this album. I went through a period where I played it over and over. It was like, okay, album's done. Let's play it again. Let's play it again. Let's play it again.
Now, are you sure this isn't just psychological conditioning?
Oh no, it's not. It's not. I was not identifying with my captors. No.
Okay.
No, I just love the album. I still do. It is my second favorite Police album ever. It used to be my first, and then I finally got around listening to Regatta de Blanc.
Now it's your favorite?
Yeah, because I haven't heard it as much, so it's still new to me, and I'm still digging through it. But it's like Regatta de Blanc, Zenyatta Mondatta, and then Synchronicity are 1, 2, and 3, but they're all really, really, really close. Then it would be followed by Ghost in the Machine and Outlandos Dear More and Dead Last. Because I only like about half that album, and I listen to it a lot, and it's okay. But yeah, I absolutely love this album. I mean, granted, the opinions I was given, it doesn't sound like I did, but maybe it's because like I've never dug in too deeply to what do these songs mean. For me, it's just, wow, it's really catchy, and I just love listening to it. I just love it. And maybe it's one of those things where like it's not what's being said, but how it's being said. It's almost like movies like Roger Ebert's theory was, it's not what the movie is about, it's how it's about it. And I think that happens with music too. Like you could sing like the most ridiculous thing, but man, if you can put it across, it works for me.
I mean, look at like I Am the Walrus. It doesn't make sense when you read it on paper, but damn, it's a catchy song.
And then it was kind of like, after this, we got Ghost in the Machine, where Sting became more of the world's conscience. And then I think maybe Stuart and Andy slapped him in the head, and then they put out Synchronicity.
Now, I want to ask you one last question before we sign off. We talked a little bit about Sting's post-police career. What have Stuart and Andy been doing?
Collecting royalty checks, I'd assume. No, they both did like a lot of film work. I know that.
Oh, cool.
Stewart did. He did a lot of movie soundtracks. Andy did movie soundtracks. He also would team up with other guitarists like Robert Fripp. They put out an album together. Yeah, they've done their own. They've done their own things. They're really not as mainstream as Sting.
No, obviously not. Do we know what movies they worked on?
I know that. Oh crap! I can't remember if it was Stewart or Andy that did. Oh my god! I saw this movie so many times. I'm blanking on it.
What's it about? Maybe I can help you figure it out here.
I want to say it was Down and Out in Beverly Hills. I know it was Beverly Hills was in the title. It was Bette Midler and Tracy Nelson and Nick Nolte. And I saw it so many times, and I cannot remember the name of it. And if someone out there knows what it is, which I'm probably going to check online after, but still, feel free to plug it in one of your comments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about the only one that I know.
Okay. One thing I remember was when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted Ringo as a solo drummer, they had all the other drummers come up, and I was really impressed because Stuart Copeland, out of all the other drummers they had, he was the most technical. Like, everybody was saying he had a great sound, sloppy, swampy, but like Stuart Copeland he made the tom-toms a part of the composition. Like, you could tell this guy knows his way around a drum kit. So I was impressed by that, and I find that really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks for listening to the latest episode of My Dad Listens to This. We are back from our hiatus. If you're happy that we're back, like this video.
And if you're not happy that we're back, we're still back.
Yeah, we're always going to be back. Please let us know what you think about this album or this video in the comments. If you want to get notified for when our episodes are released in the future, tap the bell so that you can be the first to know. And next week, we will be back with another album to nitpick and gripe about. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Oh, bye. And as Sinatra would say if he was still alive, do, da, baby.
It's all I want to say to you.
Oh.